You're listening to the C1D Paintball Podcast. Remember to subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, and our Discord. Hey there, Andrew, C1D Paintball Podcast. I've got my red coffee mug, C1D. It's a beautiful coffee mug if you're listening to this on Spotify. Mike is holding his up and Connor is holding his up because they're here to join me. Connor is balancing on his head.
Okay.
He's taken out a rubber ball and put it on his nose. And I believe he's only wearing suspenders to paint a picture.
I'm a seal at the zoo. Yeah.
There we go. And we play paintball. We are back again. Episode 15 from season 2. And a couple of things we're going to talk about tonight. We had a special game day on Saturday at Warzone. The provincial holiday is Saint Jean-Baptiste here in Quebec. The actual date is the 24th, but it was kind of an event they do every year. This year on the 21st, where they basically run a truck up. It's to attack, defend with a real truck. Everybody who gets in the truck gets slaughtered while the attackers destroy them. And you take turns doing that, and then you get out and play regular paintball. And we're going to be talking about something else after. That is going to be the biggest part of this show. But you know what the best part of the show is? Are my co-hosts. So, Mike, how are things going in the paintball world for you? How are things going on a Sunday night as we record this?
Not too bad. Nice relaxing day today. I actually didn't play yesterday. I was a little sore from work, and I didn't want to be sore going back into work. So I stood on the sidelines, got some good footage from the sidelines, and I took some photos, which I really enjoy doing for, the group and myself and stuff like that. So
yeah, some very nice photos at that too.
Yep.
Thank you.
Great photos, which make awesome souvenirs. Of course, I'll make a little video with it. But how are things? We heard him. We heard Connor. So, Connor, how'd it go yesterday? How's it going this weekend? You sound a lot better than Thursday night when I thought there's no way this guy's going to play paintball this weekend.
I know. I mean, I'm feeling a lot better. I had some sort of really bad colds. Really stuffed up, sore throat, ringy ears, was really dizzy out of it. I didn't think I'd make it out to play, but I woke up Saturday feeling pretty good and figured, I'd just show up maybe at least. And no, I felt good to play in the sun, and it was good to get outside. And so I played all the games up top, but once we got down, I was a little too tired to keep going. No, it was definitely a fun day, and I'm glad that I pulled myself out of bed.
There you go. Well, look, for people who might not know, Connor is my son, because it would have been weird how I was about to go on about it. Look, when you got a kid and he's sick, it's the worst. He or she, obviously. No matter what, I was going to say no matter what age, but Connor is like 23 now, right? 23 now. This year 23.
Most, yeah.
This year 23. And I remember that big, no, actually, wait, I was about to go on a tangent on that, but so he's at the age now, obviously, and been for a few years. When he has a cold, it's like the other night, it's like, okay, here are the pills. It sucks to be you. Good night. Try to get some sleep. You don't have to stay up all night. It's like, I did check in on him. And those spring, summer colds, they got to be the worst. Hot and humid outside, so you're barely breathing there. You come in the house. Connor, I like to keep the house, a temperature where you might see penguins walk around regularly? Would that be a good description?
Not even. House is like a normal temperature, but it's just downstairs it gets abnormally cold. Like upstairs, like it's nice and chill, but downstairs it is Arctic Circle-esque temperatures.
It's the demons and the ghosts. So don't worry. Don't lose sleep over your health. It's just the demons and ghosts.
Do you guys run like window units, or is it like central air?
Central. We use central. I keep my fan on year round. This is why people listen to the podcast. I keep the furnace fan on year round.
Absolutely.
It keeps the vents going. It just keeps everything consistent. And it's funny because I just came back from a visit to my daughter's home to visit my grandson my grandson, beautiful little guy. His name is Max. And I think it happens here to you, Connor, but when the power goes out and the furnace goes off, when it's quiet in my house, I wake up immediately because the furnace isn't on. And the first 2 nights at my daughter's, when her furnace just went off from heating, it was actually from air conditioning because it's 106 out there, is I would immediately wake up. But let's talk paintball. Look, I'll let you two guys go, about, what was the little event there? They had explain the truck thing better. Because you know me, if I try to explain it, I'll explain it, but we're going to be half an hour down the road. Connor, you played
I showed up a little late, so I'll let you guys do that portion.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, best way to describe it is if you're used to playing like a hero shooter, like maybe Overwatch or Rivals or Paladins. It's like a convoy payload mode. So there's one team that has the truck and that they have to escort it from basically one side of the map to the other, and the truck only moves if there's enough players on it to like push it. The other team, they have to like kill all the players so that they can't move it up. And so we kind of went through some rule changes throughout the day, because at first, like, you were not allowed to leave the vicinity of the truck. Everybody had different definitions of what 15 feet is, especially when we're, I guess, so used to using meters here. Like, some people thought 15 feet was 15 meters. Like, they were miles away. And other people were, like, right on it like they were supposed to be. We kind of went through some updates of the mode throughout, where you have to at least have 2 guys on it at all times from, everybody at first. So we kind of smoothed it out during the day, but no, it was, something you don't normally have is like this big truck with like the steel plates on the side. You hop in the back, it's open on the back side. You can poke out like a half track, I guess, where the top's open in the back. You're looking out and you can shoot around you, and I don't know, it was pretty unique. And
I'm happy we tried it. You're being polite. They do this once a year. It's a neat idea, but there's not a lot of replay value. Is if we don't see this for a year, Connor, is it safe to say it's like we're not going to be at a miss? It's kind of just a tradition thing, a nasty tradition.
I don't know. I mean, I think it could work with just a little more like updates to it.
Geez, you know
because
what?
I think it'd be cool if they let you do the entire top floor.
Yeah,
Let you go in the woods on the side.
Maybe
you were confined to one map, which is pretty crazy, because at first it was mostly just C1D and some other like membership members.
Mm-hmm.
And then a few rental groups came up, like one truck to come up, but like I think there are 4 different groups of friends and friends, coworkers. And so when they mixed in, we were like 40, maybe 50 people. And so it was just too insane, like, play that many people on the one field.
And a lot of them, it was their first time out. It's their first time out. We're doing this.
Really bad.
We're doing this hectic thing.
Pretty complicated,
and we don't even know the damn rules. But we had fun.
Yeah, no, I mean,
we had fun after playing deathmatch, though. At least it was good.
Yeah, for sure. There was lots of people like getting upset, but like there were so many rules and whatever. Like people were like, "What the hell? Like you weren't supposed to do that. I didn't know. Whatever." So.
Oh, I was in
people getting like frustrated at first, then figuring out, that is allowed. But
yeah, Mike, I went into silos and one of those little long cylindrical things, and I had just a tiny opening, and the truck drove by me, and everybody had their backs to me basically, so I lit them up.
When I killed you too?
Yeah, you still got me. Thank God for Connor. Next year, by the way, they do this, Mike. We got to have some drones in the air following it. Track somebody in the back, because we could make a kind of a fun, like a video where we pretend it's something that's real, and that it would kind of be cool with that. So it was fun.
Yeah.
Now
I got a really cool picture of Trent laying prone. I didn't even know who it was or who was in there. I just saw a blur, so I was trying to snap a picture as the truck was going by. And Trent's, after I was reviewing the picture, he's laying down prone with his 2 tip X's.
Yeah.
Just pointing out, just waiting for someone to come around, and that was a pretty cool picture.
Yeah,
I'm really
and Gene
bummed
in the
out
back
that I
were lying
missed that
down
bit.
one of the games.
I tell you what.
Yeah, I'm really bummed out I didn't get to play.
You're going to like this, because while you were taking the picture of him lying there with Gene behind him, Connor got a picture from his camera. But explain how you got your picture from your GoPro of the same thing. What angle did you have, Connor? Which was thinking outside the box to get those guys out of their box, literally.
Yeah, a video of that, by the way.
For this is that you have 2 lives. I was on the... I think just for video game's sake, it's better to say you're on the defending team, because the payload's coming towards you, so you're defending. So I was on the defending team. I had to stop the payload. I ran up far. I was kind of really on the top of the map, and I was getting people, and the payload kept on moving. And it's like, what the heck? And I wasn't thinking anything of it. I was still getting the guys in front of me. All of a sudden, I got like 2
off, Connor. You popped off on bodies before you concentrated on the payload. You're being modest. Anyway, the video.
No, I got a few off, but then it kept on going. I'm like, okay, maybe there's guys on the left side pushing it. I'll trust it to my team. Then I got 2 shots off the back of my arm, and I turn around, and it's Trent lying down in that picture that you're talking about. Maybe it wasn't then, but it was pretty much the same angle of like when I looked back. He's in the same pose as that, where he's hugging the right side from when you're looking at it. So he's on the right wall from when you come in. So I'm like, damn, whatever. He got me. I go back. I don't say anything. I really want to whatever, because it's like everybody's like, how's the truck moving? Where's the people? He's in that position. He's there, and he told me after the game, too. He saw me for a while, and he's contemplating whether to shoot me or not, because it was so close. And I think in that time of him contemplating, I might have got 3 or 4 more of his guys, too. Like, I definitely know I got Norm and Rob on the left side, and I think I got Nick and Nevin on the right. Mm-hmm. But so I go back, and everybody's like, how's the truck moving? How's the truck moving? I don't see anybody. I don't see feet, because you can kind of see on the other side. So I respawn, and I'm yelling at my team, like, guys, there's Trent's lying in the back of the trunk. I didn't know that Gene was there, too. So what I do immediately is I run up to the truck in front of it to contest it so that it can't move up anymore, and the truck stops. And whatever, so I'm contesting it, I'm taking a few shots, and I see one teammate start to come around. He doesn't know that Trent's in the back of the truck. I use him as bait. I use the rental as bait. Then I go around the corner shooting at that right wall where Trent is in the picture. It's like I shoot, and I hear hits, and he's like, never mind, I didn't break. It's like, wait, what? That's not Trent's voice. It was Gene. So it's Trent and Gene lying down in the back, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to take out both of these guys? That's what I'm saying, rentals are friends, not food. I was like trying to tell him, but
what was your resolution? So you found a good resolution to this problem.
Yeah, no. So what I tried to do after that, it's like, okay, well, I can't really push them through this tiny opening. Like, they're just going to murder me. So I tried climbing the top of the truck, like the hood.
Which for some reason the field didn't let you do.
Yeah, it was so slippery too. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I just got to peek them. I peek them, and as I'm shooting, I think, or maybe guys passed, I run out of air, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm done. There's nothing I can really do. I look back at the team. I see Miranda and a few rentals, and I told Miranda to go around for this, and I see that she's facing resistance, like she's fighting Norm and some other people. It's like, oh god, like I can't leave this or else it's gonna move, and it's right there. So what I did is I dropped my marker, climbed off the tire, the front left tire, myself over the yelled freeze, touched out Gene, was kind of in the back corner, and I touched out Trent on his pouch. He didn't feel it, so he shot me. And it's like, no, dude, I got you. He trusted me. I'm like, thank you for trusting me. I think Gene vouched too, but I was like so paranoid. It's like, dude, I'm pretty sure I touched him. So it was really reassuring to get home and see the footage that I definitely did get Trent on the pouch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Climbs up the side of the truck, leans over to tag these guys. Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
It was insane.
Yeah, I got a pretty good video of it. I for some reason couldn't snap a picture. I think I was too intrigued on what was going on. But yeah, so I managed to get the video, but no picture. So I'll get you another angle of that.
So
yeah, and when I'm thinking about it too, I had another epic moment there. Not last year, but the year before that, or maybe even the year before that year. It was capture the flag, and it was a rainy day. It was the metal barrel that I pushed up.
Oh yeah,
in the mud to get the flag.
I
ran back with it.
You ran, yeah.
I died, but I brought it far back for the team to secure it, and it was like in that same spot too on the road.
You're right, actually.
I don't know how I remember that.
That field has changed some. I remember that, and they're saying, "Okay, you can't do that." It's like, yeah, you can move a barrel anytime you want. Yeah, because when it's dry out, you can't move the damn thing because it's like stuck in the mud into the ground. Well, we played a few more games after.
I got an epic.
Go on, Mike.
I got an epic video. Sorry,
that's okay. Go.
It was just of. It reminded me of moving barrels. This kid ended up getting yelled at, but we were down at Capital Combat Zone. I think the first year we started playing paintball, and I'm sitting there in the edge of the woods, and I happen to look left, and there's this guy in a wedding dress just pushing one of those big black tubes, you know, the like drainage that you see all over the place in paintball fields. He's pushing it and he's rolling it and he's just running up behind it shooting, and he got a pretty far distance before the ref yelled at him for taking the, you know, props too far away, but it made for a really good video.
Well, let's see. I think we played one game of team deathmatch after that, and then the noobs kind of split off. Connor already alluded earlier that we went downstairs. That's where he kind of watched. I did a couple of team death matches, just was it 3 on? No, about 4 on 5 or whatever. And then I left for the day. But then I saw you just got right back into it. You guys on the base. Miranda, Trent. Saw a couple other guys stuck around. Gene, of course. Yeah, first to get there, last to leave is Gene. And you guys made the best of the day before the heat wave hits.
There was a brother and 2 brothers there, a big brother and a little brother, and nice. I thought it was his dad the whole time.
That's what I was saying. I said father and son.
A lot of people did. A lot of people were referring, hey, you know, your dad or whatever. And at the end of the day, Miranda still had a pod of balls left, and I just bought an LTR hopper off of Trent. So I loaded it up on the EMF, and I was like, hey, buddy, you know, you want to shoot this? Because he was, I don't know, he must have been like 12, 13, 14, I'm not sure. And he's like, oh, my God, yeah. And I let him rip the whole 200 rounds out of and he was just so happy. And I was like, oh, yeah, go tell your dad, you know, you want one of these for Christmas or whatever. But it ended up being his brother. But it was really cool watching them play together. I got a lot of good pictures of them, but it was really cool. And there was a game at somewhere throughout there where it ended up being just Miranda and the kid.
That's what I was just thinking about.
And and I let her know that there's only one guy left. It's the rental, so take it easy. And they had a good little shoot off, and he ended up getting her in the shoulder, and we all celebrated for him. He had this big grin on his face and fist bumps. And
crazy shot too, because nothing against Miranda, but she was head glitching too. It was just her head and her shoulder, like her like shooting shoulder, basically, like very, very small target.
It's funny because a lot
and he
of
was way back. For anyone familiar with the field, he was in the northeast. He was the west spawn by the barrels, like way back in that cubby, and she was like midfield, crouching. So it was a pretty good shot. Yeah,
the Jeep.
Yeah, that's not an easy shot for sure. And I only had the angle on Miranda, so I just saw her shoulder go back as she got hit, and it's like, whoa, the kid got him.
Yeah.
No, when I didn't think anything of it, but saying that he's the older brother now too is like saw him when I was watching from the other side since I spectated that game. I saw the older brother like giving signs to his younger brother like where to go and stuff. Which was like jumping all over the place. Like he was excited for his little brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh,
No,
this guy
it
has
was
lots of
awesome.
energy for,
The dad,
being a
yeah.
dad. I guess he's like,
I have set a very poor example on my energy levels.
oh yeah.
I'm not sure how many times the big brother played, but I guess it was the kid's third time out. And
Oh,
he just
nice.
absolutely loves it. And he just he wants to go all the time. So
Oh, that's awesome. I know the
Yep.
big brother, he
Wonder-
had what, an EMF or some sort, not an EMF, he had some sort of
he
anti-looking
was
mag
decked
fed,
out.
I
Yeah, he
think.
was
Yeah,
decked
he
out.
was decked out, mag fed, and he had like a PPQ.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
and you could tell he definitely had, whether he played airsoft or video games or came out of the military or something, you could tell he had something going on there.
We also,
Good player for sure.
on the field yesterday, I know I've done it many times on the podcast. I announced the man, the myth, the legend. It really happened yesterday because the man, the myth, the legend, some guy like stumbles out of his car with long, scraggly hair and a beard, turns around, don't really recognize him until he picks up his marker. He's got a TMC that's painted like a Canada flag. And could it be?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is. Brant was back. The man who he shows up for one play day
Long
randomly
lost.
last year, then plays D-Day with us the next weekend and disappears. Whoops, geez, I just slammed my mic just being so animated here. he had this jump off the truck. He became a legend in a handful of games, and he came back yesterday. Brought a friend who bought himself a membership, so they're both members. So we're going to see Brant out there again, and he adds a level of you don't know what the hell is going to happen between. Maybe it's in the name. Trent Brant is, you don't know what's those two guys are like. You never know what's going to happen, and they both do everything. And as they shoot you, there's a smile on their face. So what more could you ask for? So we do have our when is our next game day? I still got to do the graphic. It's in 2 weeks. So if I'm looking at the calendar here, first weekend in July, we'll be out of there again. So I'll post about that. Now, something which is going to be happening not too far from then, or in the near future, and really the spotlight at the back end of the show. I'd say the highlight of the show is last year we had the 1v1 tournament that Connor put on. Did a hell of a job. Well, we've already teased a few things on the tournament, and Connor has some more updates on the first ever Foozball tournament. Connor, the stage is yours. I know you're not going to unveil everything because some details are still being worked on, but whet the palate. Let the people who are anxious know what you have to say so far.
So, basically, after this podcast ends, I'm going to be uploading the registration form. Already had a few people kindly fill it out that I sent it to early just to test some things out, and it looks good. Still working on some game-specific rules, so I won't mention any of that. But I have all the stuff done for the registration form, so that's kind of stuff about not just the sign-up, but that there's going to be a big draft for this tournament, so that instead of just signing up and there's going to be a little matchmaking system, with the help of one of my close friends, Alex, we tried to come up with a drafting sort of system that can make it so that teams are drafted to be as balanced as possible. Foozball, what is it? It's a game mode we play where you're not allowed to cross a 50 line, so the enemy can't come on your half, you can't go on their half. And how you win is that you have to have the football on their side. Some little things about how I'm tweaking the rules. Obviously, it's not still all ironed out, but it's really going to be a point percentage thing, so that you're going to get points having it on their side. They're going to get points for having it on your side. So you really want to throw it back and forth as much as possible, So if it's a 10-minute game, which it's not, you don't want to hold it for 9 minutes and 55 seconds, throw in the last 5 seconds, you win. You constantly want to have it on the other team's side. And so with the rules, I'm trying to make it as it's a short game. It's only 5 minutes. It's going to be pretty intense and chaotic, but it's really meant to be kind of the ball's meant to go back and forth as much as possible. So obviously, how does this work? Well, there's going to be a 4v4. So there's going to be 4 teams of 4. So that means that there's going to be a 6-game round robin, so that you play against each team once in this 5-minute game to figure out a sort of seeding for the playoffs, where it's going to be like a best of 3 series that will have slightly altered rules. But how are the teams made? The teams are going to be made obviously via draft. So it's not going to be some sort of matchmaking system. I was thinking of doing that where we kind of where we really try to balance the teams, but it'd be a little too difficult. And so what I've gone ahead and done is that I've made 4 sorts of positions each team, so that there is a quarterback, a running back, an offensive line, and a defensive line. So I won't go into what these roles, positions are specifically. They're all meant to have certain kind of abilities like a video game, but they're not complicated, not too intense. You want to draft your team to be as balanced as possible. So you might really want to, a certain team that's fast, and so you might want to pick the best available running back with your first pick in the draft. If you really want to hunker down and just keep it on their side, you might want to draft a defensive line first. So in order to do this, in the little registration form, there's a lot of questions, but they're honestly not too hard to answer. There's a bunch of questions that you're rating your skills yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. So 1 being like very low, 2 being low, 3 average, 4 high, 5 very high. So it's asking you questions like, how fast are you speed-wise? So just running. So within the group, like, are you one of the fastest guys? Are you the least fastest? Are you like an average speed? So from these different like traits, the GMs, when we have the draft here on Discord with our 4 coaches, they're going to draft you based on what they think they see in you. It's like, okay, this guy's fast, I want him here. This guy's like, he's so elusive, I want him at this position. They're going to use what they think, but also what you gave yourself, draft you to a certain position. And from that, they'll have 1 of each position on their team. And obviously from that, we could play the games where it's going to be really cool. Coaches, 2 of the spots already taken. I don't want to say the names yet because I want it to be a big reveal where we're going to post stuff in Discord. So in the sheet, if you're interested in being a coach, I recommend you sign up for it quickly, as there's only 2 spots left. It's going to be really cool. Each team is going to have their own logo, their own name. And so there should be kind of like some inner group, like inner C1D, like even deeper in, as you kind of have your own team for this event. So it should be pretty sick, I think. And so your coach drafts you during the game. He's coaching you. You're coming up with plans beforehand because you know, okay, right now I'm playing against Connor's team's next. You have 5 minutes to prepare, drawing up strategies. Okay, this person is their quarterback. Last game, he's probably going to be quarterback again. How should we shut that down? Blah, blah, this. And so trying to make it as football-y as possible. But if you don't know football rules, it doesn't matter because it's just really like games and stuff, and like timeouts are in any sport, little things. So it's not really, you have to be educated on football because I don't really know much about football too, but it's
Foozball.
trying to go a lot into depth about just making it like really cool. Like you get drafted by a team, you're gonna have your little prospect card. There's some questions in the form asking you some goofy things like what's your university team, where you went to university, because like, you know, probably seen that whatever Key and Peele thing
Key and
where
Peele,
it's like
yeah.
the
Yeah.
whatever they're making fun of it. So we're gonna do something like that. And what's your favorite this? What's your number? So you can just answer those questions. If you're uneducated, that's why it's a joke. So you can either put your legit school or you can just make something up. And so I tried to make that in the question too. So I said like realistic or like a joke. So yeah, you could say homeschool university or anything. So
I flunked out college.
yeah, no, I mean it should be cool. I'm trying to make this cool like leading up to the event. Like it's not just one that we just start and it's whatever. Like I want people to know the rules in advance. I want there to be some hype with the drafts before and coaches. It's going to be a little demanding for them, like talking before and having to do like scouting before once you have all the players registered. That they're going to have to look before on the master spreadsheet that I made to like look at all these prospect stats and it's going to be like a little scouting thing and talks before about trades and stuff. So I'm trying to make this as like sportsy as possible.
Well, if
So how
yeah.
long, not to butt in, but how long, so you said you got two coaches, ironed out. We got to figure out the other two once everyone gets the form in and stuff. How long when you pick the coaches and start getting with them, talking with them before we get, the event started? Like, so I'm just wondering how much prep time they got, I guess.
I mean, it all depends because right now for the dates of the game, I was really hoping for August, the week of August, weekend of August 9th. Obviously, I didn't anticipate that there's the Mirabelle game. So it might be the weekend after that, or maybe possibly before then. But I know one of our coaches is on vacation before last week of July, and so I'd have to find another one if we do it that early.
Oh, I
So-
know who the other coach is.
August, yeah,
Perfect.
but August is
We'll
good
still have to
because
figure it
it's
out, but
never
it's really-
too hot. That's the thing. If somebody says move it up to July, you're guaranteed we're going to fry our balls off. So I mean,
Oh my God,
August
yeah.
is going to be August is good. No pressure on that. And by the way, Connor, you want hype on this? You know how Dad is when he grabs something and runs with it. We're going to overproduce this. We're going to laugh at ourselves
Yeah.
and make it look like we're actually serious, but we're not.
Exactly. Yeah, but no, it's gonna be like it's not really gonna be too bad. Like, let's say the event is on like the fourth week of the end of the month. Just to make it clear for this example, I'm gonna say is that I'd want the draft to be a week exactly before,
Yeah.
so that you have your team a week before. 2 weeks before the game, so a week before the draft, players are made available, so the coaches have a week to look at it, but also the rules are published. So that they can draft based on knowing how the stuff is, so they can build their team around the system of the game. It's normal foosball, but obviously I'm making a few rule changes to make it a little more competitive and more action packed compared to you kind of just get it stuck on the other team's side. I thought of a lot of measures to make it more fun where it should be more back and forth, and so I want that to be made available before so that people aren't like going into this blind. And I mean, there's definitely going to be more rules than normal foosball, but I think it should still be clear though. I've run it by a few people, and
Yeah.
I mean it I think after the first game you kind of get the hang of it, and that's all that matters too, because in the playoffs, if you're the fourth seed and you like lose whatever, you can still win the tournament with how the final playoff round set up. So you can even lose all three of the round robin games. Use as like practice to feel out the mode.
And one of the good things about, and Connor has been talking to people. One of the people he mentioned one or two of the rules with was me, and the rules he's implementing are to enhance the game. Like it's like that's going to be cool. But something I wanted to mention too is the tournament doesn't take that long. because
No.
everybody look the first round everybody plays 3 games because you play each other once. 3 times 4 is 12, but there's 2 teams playing at once, so that's 6 games. Playoffs 7, 8, 9 games are 5 minutes long. You theoretically, if you took, it's only 45 minutes of gameplay. So if you have 10 minutes between, we can have this tournament over in 2.5 hours. So it's not like
I'm aiming for 3. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's like the most.
Yeah, the 1v1 was great, but it took a while. It took all day, and I can understand how you're not always getting into it. With this, it's going to be a relatively quick one. In the sense of that, 3 hours is great. We are going to be using, I mean, I can say, we know what field it is because it's always the same field, right, Connor? There's no secret there. We're playing at Market.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to be playing on Market for it.
And that's one of the main fields. So we'll double check with the field. Hey, we would like to reserve that for the first 2 or 3 hours or blah, blah, blah. We'll block it out. So
yeah, like until like, let's say we start at, I'd like to start at 10. Like we start, like game 1 starts at 10 o'clock. So, we're done by 1, the latest. And that still gives them all afternoon.
Yep.
So.
And I know what we do too. We take their barbecue down there and we have a little barbecue for everybody involved in the tournament after. So there you go.
For sure.
I'm not cooking this time. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you're not cooking. You've done your
you're
tour
giving
duty.
food. You might be a photographer or something.
Yeah, that's true. I've already got plans for his drone. I want him to do foosball. I want him to do the convoy next year. It's like, geez, are you going to play any, Mike? Or are you just going to record? I'm taking you into.
I actually have a blast. I love doing the media portion of it too. Like, obviously, I love playing. It helped a lot. Unfortunately, that I just wasn't feeling up for it yesterday. But I love it. Even when I'm feeling 100%. I like taking the pictures, and I know that like when people see pictures of themselves, they like love it. And definitely if you get something really cool, and everyone loves seeing the drone stuff. Like I'll never forget accidentally. I was just kind of like just going back and forth on Market last year, and I believe it was Green Rental.
Yeah.
Waving the flag, and I thought that was one of the coolest accidental shots I've gotten. And he was so stoked to see it and see himself on the drone, and it's stuff like that makes me. You know how many people came up to me yesterday and thought I worked there?
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, where am I gonna see these pictures? Where can I get these pictures? I'm like, oh yeah.
Give me $20, I'll send you my email.
I love that. yeah. No, I love that kind of stuff. So
well, look, Green Rentals
I'll
last
do it
year.
all the time for sure.
This guy falls in love with paintball. It's like his second time out. He bought all the gear. And when he captured the flag, that won the game. So he's planted it and he's waving it back and forth, and we're sitting there going, well, we play all the time, but we all remember the first time we scored a flag, or we know what a rush it is, except for Connor, who scores it half the goddamn time. So it's like odd when he doesn't. Either that or he's out, right, Connor? It's either you get the flag or you get hit right away running in for it. Is it one or the other? High percentage, not all the time.
To be honest, whenever I've grabbed it, I haven't died.
Oh no, I've jinxed it now.
Because I've had times where I've run up and I've just stopped, and if I stop, I don't get it, and I'll die. If I actually grab it and run up, like I don't think I've ever gotten hit midway back or whatever. Just one last thing about the tournament too.
Of course.
Is that promise I'm not adding too many rules, and all these rules too aren't for the sake of being complicated. It's meant for fixing stuff that I see that can be exploited in this tournament. Obviously, there's no cash prize or anything. I don't want there being dumb stuff like like I said before with how the points works this time. How you get a point for every second the ball's on the other side. It incentivizes you to get it there as much as possible rather than just throwing it in the last second, which we don't do normally when we play. But, in a tournament setting, people might think that's, a strategy. Right. And so, like, for example, another thing, I won't say how I fixed it, but I have a thing in place that you just don't drop it over the line. And so it's 1 millimeter on their side. There's a thing to counteract that. There's a thing of throwing it kind of in the middle of nowhere. stuff to make it so, not that it's super difficult to follow along, but to make it more fun. So I'm not trying to be like a crazy person of all these rules, but no, just trying to make it more fair, and it's fun even if you lose.
Well, I'll tell you.
Well, I mean, look at the convoy thing, for example. If you don't set a bunch of well thought out rules, I mean, I'm not saying that they didn't. It was great what they do, but I'm just saying, like, things can get mixed up if they don't get ironed out well. Like, they had rules set out. It's just they weren't maybe ironed out or understood by everybody. So just,
No, for sure. I'm like, I know people here don't really love to read, but like before the couple weeks before, like that 2 weeks before when the rules go out, I'll like come on here even by myself to have like a rules Q&A, like where we can like read it over together. I'm planning on publishing like a document, one in English, one in French even, so like everybody fully understands the rules and stuff, because obviously if there's a few rule breaks, that's fine, I get it. But, I want it to be obviously fun, but like competitive, because the few times I've played it, it's kind of like one team gets it and it just stays on the other side the entire time, and I see the potential in it to be really like fun and crazy and stuff. And so everything I've thought of so far with the drafts, I don't want to give too much away about it, but it goes into making
it's fun.
A thing with the perks that the people have. It's kind of like the characters, like heroes from a video game. They all have different abilities. They're all subtle things, though. It's not like one person has a Spartan laser and everyone has energy pistols. But,
it's a Halo reference. Even an old guy like me knows that. If you didn't know that, we'll brush up on your pop culture.
But no, it's all to make it more fun, but also competitive. So I'm not trying to make everyone's life too difficult.
Well, look, you're good then with the because this is leading into a good segue here, and thanks for organizing.
Yeah, I'm all good then.
If you remember something, let me know. I'm really looking forward to it. Connor's putting a lot of thought. I want to talk about the last two things that Connor and Mike talked about. Connor's organizing this tournament. You did it last year too. It's all about fun. We know we have more people that are kind of we draw a little bit more attention to some people over the last 2 days. Our team, we bring teams of over 30 there. We held our end of the bargain up on the field. We played well in the field. But if you're listening and you've just been kind of fallen into C1D specifically from like the D-Day thing and that, especially 2025, we are not a competitive group. We are just a fun club that gets together and has fun. So when Connor keeps mentioning fun, he's not talking about, he's literally talking about fun. He's not talking about the most competitive ultra whatever. So blah, blah, blah we are all about that, because some of these rules he's putting in, they're great. We're going to know them a week ahead of time. He mentioned about people not reading. I know what he means, because the first couple of games are going to be hilarious with people figuring things out. We're going to laugh at each other. It's all about going out, having a good time. Looking forward to that barbecue after and just having some laughs. And then Mike was talking about sitting there taking pictures. People like that. I mean, look what I do with the videos and the stuff like that. I'm happy I made a logo and shirts, because we're all looking good right now with our cups and all that stuff. Is when people say, how do you build a community? How do I build a paintball community? Not a team. Like if you're playing in a team like speedball, you go to the fields, you make friends, you buy beers, you slip them a 20. I don't know, whatever it is for that. But if you want a paintball club, you make it fun on all kinds of aspects. Connor mentioned we got like things like player cards. We're not pros. There's nothing better. And Mike nailed it. There's nothing better. And I'm not a vain person, but seeing yourself in a badass picture playing paintball. There's just something about it. There's just something about it that it's like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, how can I show the people at work this without them thinking I'm some nut? But what Mike and Connor have described here, that's who we are. And if you want to start a community, a club, it's the C1D, Canadian First Division Paintball Group or Club. We're not a team. When we go play out as a unit, as a team we've done well. But then again, we've been beaten up on each other for several years now. So we should be good at doing it. But it's about little things like this. You don't need to be super organized like Connor in a tournament like that. You can just say, hey, man, this is our game day every second week. Hey, what we're going to do? We're going to do no hoppers. We're just going to have mags this weekend. Hey, you know what, guys? This weekend when we're there, we're just going to use rental markers and we'll just hack around. You make it fun. Little things like that. And if you guys want to have a super competitive night, look, Nick organizes some more of the competitive get-togethers for C1D. And that's good because I don't expect people that have been with the group for a few years to just always want to play kind of rec stuff. So you have to make sure you appeal to different things. And again, Nick and the boys that like to do the competitive stuff, they like screwing around playing with us just on goofy games and stuff like that too.
Sure.
And so I'm not telling people how to start a club, but for the people that ask me, and we get it a lot, it's just, if there's something you're good at, you like, Mike's a very creative person. Music, the pictures, that's an art form. The flying his drones, those shots you get, that's an art. The organizational skills of Connor, clearly he likes organizing things. He's great with spreadsheets. I wish I'd be making much more money if I was as good at spreadsheets when I was his age. And you'd be living in a much nicer house.
I know he loves them.
So try to mix in the things you like. Clearly, I like video editing because we're punching him out like that. That's what it's, and you don't have to be also just the regular members of the club. They don't have to give anything above and beyond. They can just come in and smile and be there, and that's cool. But we're lucky. We got guys that create stuff. We got guys like Jeff, who's always eager to try to do stuff. Also, the history, he knows about it. Thomas knows a ton about it. He loves sitting down talking about it. Nick loves gadgets and games and trading gear and stuff like that. He's into that part of it. We've got so many people that are into so many different facets of it. Even the guys that just show up, smile. Charlie Victory is one of our oldest members as far as how long he's been with us. In our 8 years, I think he was right before COVID, Connor. I think he right around 2019, 2020, but he didn't play a lot the last 2 years. But he's making videos. He made this shirt that's behind me for those of you watching on YouTube. Little things like that. If you really want to build a paintball community locally, that's how you do it. What are the things I like? What are the things I don't like? Connor, how many times was it me, you, maybe Alex, maybe Michael? How many years did we do that?
But at least 3, I think.
About 3. We were happy if we had 4, but it was the 2 of us. And just people joined. One day we went out and we found Thomas at ASA, and he followed us all the way to Rigo. He decided instead of driving 5 minutes to paintball, an hour and 5 minutes was better for him. People joined here and there. Mike Miranda, you bumped into Nick, wasn't it? Nick and some of the guys there, or was it Rob? Or Rob and Nick, right?
It was Nick, Rob, Norm, Nevin. It was the whole group, and we were there with Mikey, just getting meeting with Mikey around the same time. I think we might have went downstate once at that point, but yeah, we happened to go there on the perfect day because they just happened to slowly stop going there shortly after. So if we would have got sick, if I would have stubbed my toe and not went that weekend, it would have been terrible because we played with some awesome guys that day.
My video's still showing there.
You guys
you see, but you knew me before you knew me.
So I was like, hey, I was like, I've seen this guy on YouTube before, and he's like, that's our guy, that's our captain, that's who you want to come play with us, and that's who you'll meet. And I was like, no shit, that's super cool. And then we got invited to Warzone, and it was history from there.
Wow, got this warm and fuzzy. Speaking of warm, tomorrow it's going to break record highs. I've got all the windows down in my house. Are you supposed to get the heat down there? You must be getting some of this heat down there, Mike.
Oh yeah, yep. And I'm gonna be stuck in it. I don't want to talk about it.
Sorry. You're welcome to come to Connor's room, which we all know, everybody listening to this podcast, it is the coldest place on the face of the earth.
No reason.
For no reason. No, it's the ghosts
I
and
might have to
phantoms.
hop over after work.
It's the phantom under your bed. Okay, guys. You know what? I'm satisfied. I'm happy. I haven't gone too much off a tangent tonight. I want to thank Trent and Chris, who were in the lobby. We'll join them after for a post-game Carnage report. Private. Otherwise, I really want to thank the boys, Connor and Mike, for what they do, which we've been talking about tonight for the upcoming tournament. I always, when I saw Mike show up, Mike, when I saw you with the camera, I saw Miranda's all decked out, ready to go. She's a warrior. She's a great fucking player, a great teammate.
Yep.
And then it's like, well, where's Mike? And I saw you're in your civilian gear, but you had your camera. I said, oh, I like the artistic
He's still
side
doing
too.
shit.
You're still doing shit. That's good, because then this way I can play. I don't have to do it when you're doing that.
Yeah. I mean, I just can't not go. And I knew Miranda really wanted to go out, and we hadn't, you were out of town last time, so it's been a while. So I was like, we're gonna make the best of it, and yeah, I'm really glad we did, because it was an awesome day.
Yeah, she told me too. She can't do one more baby shower without paintball, or else she was gonna snap. So
yeah.
Mike hit the jackpot with that one, my friends.
I
love my wife. Although, no, wait. I hit the jackpot first. It just happened before you were born. I'm talking about my wife in case somebody thinks I'm making a mom joke to Mike. I can make mom jokes to Connor, though, because, it's my wife. But anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all. Oh, Connor got me an air fryer for Father's Day. It was a late gift because I was out, but he got me an air fryer, so I'm going to think I'm eating healthy, but I'm just going to think of a million ways to make chicken wings and onion rings at home.
It's an investment for myself.
Yeah, it is. Upgrade my cooking.
You guys are gonna fatten up this winter.
Yeah.
This winter, Christ.
You're not gonna be as fast next D-Day.
Oh,
I'm expecting lots of chicken wings now.
Hey, by the way, Connor, he's got his braces off. I know that our feed is usually on YouTube is small. He's got his braces. That's why he's thinking chicken wings, ribs.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah. I feel like such a dummy. We got not even 10 minutes down the road, and Miranda's like, something different about Connor. I think he got his braces off. And then she was like, I didn't want to say anything because if it was last time or whatever, but I was like, you know what? I did notice something else too. So yeah, awesome.
Yeah, on Thursday.
That's so funny.
Oh my God, that was the worst appointment I've ever had in my life. That's when I was peeking at my sickness. I couldn't breathe at all through my nose. And they're putting stuff in my mouth. And I had so much phlegm in my throat, I could barely breathe. I had this much oxygen coming in from my body. I thought I was going to die.
Yeah, he's had the
like, obviously it's not that dramatic having stuff in your, on your teeth, but it was not comfortable for 2 hours.
But it's you've been waiting to get those off for 2.5 years. You're sitting I don't care if I can breathe, just take these fucking things off.
Yeah, I know.
I don't care if I pass out. Get them out of my mouth.
Seriously.
Okay, and with that, we are explicit. Thanks, Mike, Connor, Trent, Chris, anybody listening. Remember, go out there on the field, have fun, be a good example. That's right, Mike said, see you guys. Connor, are you going to say see you guys, or are you just going to go upstairs and look at your beautiful teeth in the mirror? He's giving a wave.
Rainbow wave. Yeah.
Rainbow wave. Go out there, have fun. At the end of the day, it is just a game.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to like us, rate us, and tell everybody about us. Thanks for listening.